What it do? What the business is? I'm Rodney.
I'm Jamal.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Took a few weeks away, but I'm here now. Y'all know this is Vince.
And we are
under construction.
Pep up, Jamal. Pep up.
Come on, Jamal. We got to give the people what they want. We can't be all something. You got your alcohol. You got your Coca-Cola. Hey, you got a Coke. Have a smile, man. Have a smile.
You should have a Pepsi.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave that one alone.
We'll talk about that one next time.
So Vince, you've been going for a little minute. How you been, man?
Man, it's been good. Jamal, stop staring at me, man. No, it was good. You know, I took care of a few things, and you guys shouted me out last week about the whole kickball thing. So, you know, got me a little tourney title and all that good stuff. You know, so
I led in the kickball league.
Nah, I ain't gonna say all that. It was a real low key tournament. The rules were a little different. The competition was still there, but yeah, you know, so I got me a tourney win, first tourney win in like 3 years. So you know, I'm feeling myself right now.
Gotcha.
Unlike this professional basketball team that I'm sure we're gonna talk about.
Woo! Jamal, how have you been, despite the unfortunate tragic news?
How does it look like I've been, man? Do I look happy right now?
Maybe look a normal look.
Yeah, maybe you just got resting female dog face or something. I don't know.
Why are y'all so happy today?
I mean, I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm happy.
You know, yeah. I'm not fine, man. I'm great, man.
Basic Hallmark stuff. Hey, woke up today, you should be happy.
Woke up this morning, started me on my way. I'm good, man.
That's wonderful, man. I'm not. It's not a good day.
All right, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain why it's not a good day. Today, our all-time leading scorer, best player ever, franchise centerpiece, undisputed king of Charlotte, Kemba Walker, signed with the Boston Celtics.
Out of all the damn teams.
For 4 years, $141 million. Jamal, how do you feel about that? Give me everything. I want to know how you feel, man. Was made of light. I'll wave the band.
Tell us how you really feel, Jamal. Let it keep going.
We can to see forever, but forever's gone away. We don't own the rights to this music. So
you can't sue us because we don't have anything.
Say goodbye to yesterday.
And that is how Jamal is feeling, ladies and gentlemen.
I've said this before. I will say it again, man. Business aside, all the contract stuff, aside from the Charlotte Hornets royally screwing this up, aside from all that we'll get into really soon. Let me repeat for those who didn't hear me the first 20 times I've said this, man. I was born in Hartford, Connecticut. Me and my father share this bond of the Yukon Huskies. I've been a fan since I was 11 years old. I have watched Kemba Walker when he was a goofy little freshman. I say that out of love. When he was a goofy freshman playing behind some guy named A.J. Price, who he should not have been playing behind.
Where's he now?
Who knows? I think he's working at Target or something, but whatever.
Hey, is that
doesn't matter. Hey, man, that's an honest day's work, man. So, forgive me if I'm not in the best mood today, because how rare is it that somebody you've been rooting for that long ends up on your team and the trajectory looked like he was going to retire with your team, and all of a sudden it abruptly comes to an end. I can't speak as a pundit or a journalist. I'm a fan today, and as a fan, this sucks. This absolutely, positively sucks for me today. Vince. I can't be positive about it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I gotta need a drink.
Before I give my very, very conflicted answer, first off, Shout out to everyone that's watching right now via Instagram Live.
No doubt.
Shout outs to everyone that will be listening to the podcast later on tonight. And shout outs to everyone that will be watching tomorrow when we post the video on Facebook. I don't think we say it enough, but the support that we've gotten from you guys is definitely what keeps us going. And we definitely do appreciate that. We hope we get better going forward. Now that that's out the way, I really don't know how to feel about this. Because you guys know I'm more so the look at the business side.
Yeah.
The last couple of months, I basically say, hey, whatever is going to happen,
It's gonna happen.
needs to happen.
Right.
And I've argued for Kemba staying. I've argued for him leaving because I thought he was going to go either to L.A. or to New York, for different reasons. And
Can I
whatnot.
cut you off real quick? There's one thing I'm extremely happy about.
Okay.
At least he didn't go to the Lakers. Lord have
At
mercy.
least he didn't go to the
At
Lakers.
least he didn't go to the Lakers.
Hallelujah.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
bro.
you're
Go
good.
right
You're
ahead.
good. But it sucks. And I tell you what, in the days leading up to this becoming official, I was actually pretty indifferent. I was like, okay, if he's gonna go, he's gonna go. We now have direction. We have a pivot point to choose whatever direction we want to go. But when I was driving over here to do the podcast and I got the notification, it actually hurt. Because it was like, oh man, like it's real now. Like
it's
for,
real.
Right.
for
Right.
8 years, like
Right.
he's been the player. He's been D1, constant, like through the
main
multiple
draw.
coaches, through the players coming in and
Through
out.
7 and 59.
7 and
through
59. He's
the
been
two contracts.
D1.
Yeah, right.
He's been D1 constant. Like he hasn't missed a boatload of games. He's been the one consistent piece.
Right.
And I'll tell you guys a story real quick. When I was younger, all the cousins and actually all the aunts and uncles, because they were the ones who could drive, they all used to come. We all used to go to my grandma's house every single Sunday, right? So when they come, obviously all the grandkids is there, and we played spades, we played kickball, we played flag football, whatever, right? But as we started getting older, the older cousins stopped coming, right? They stopped coming. So the cousins that I like to hang out with, when they stopped coming, I was like Will Smith at the end of the Fresh Prince. So he was just in the room by himself. I was like, dang, like it's over. And like that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Like, oh snap, like it's actually over.
It's actually over.
And like that's how I feel right now.
Like,
It's a reality that you knew it was coming, and you thought you were.
but did we really know it was coming?
And
though?
I don't
we
think
did
we
know
knew
it was
coming,
coming.
though.
Did we
knew
really
it-
know it was coming?
Like when I saw Woj report this 2 days ago.
No.
I knew it was official.
I'm not talking about in the last
Couple of
week
days,
or
yeah.
a month or
I
so.
understand.
His commentary
'Cause-
leading up.
Because the thing is, man.
I knew there was a possibility. I mean,
No, it was definitely a possibility all along.
Strong,
but when
man.
he has been, he was consistent in saying he wanted
wants
to
to
be
stay
here.
here. Yeah.
Which-
when has MJ not fumbled the bag?
No.
That's another story.
And here's another deal. This goes all the way back to the year that we had Jeremy Lin, Courtney Lee, and all those guys. After we got knocked out of the playoffs, all three of those guys said, "I want to be
Come
a
back,
Hornet.
yeah.
I want to come back." And as soon as they were able to go, they were gone. And ever since then, I told you guys for the last 3 years or so, I do not put any clout into anybody's words as far as whether or not they want it. Now, and I'm not calling.
So, like, I heard Al Jefferson that was on the radio. I heard that he said he wanted to run back that team, but I'm thinking they got indication from management. We're not going to re-sign all of y'all, so y'all just go ahead and get what
But
you can get.
let's add context to that. I don't think there was possible for them to re-sign everybody, especially when you gave Nick Batum all that money, because you have to keep in mind Jeremy Lin took a big contract with
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, yeah.
after
Brooklyn
that
is
season.
good. Yeah,
he
he was
took
good.
his contract was $17 million a year, man. Al Jefferson, who was,
Made 10.
I mean, that was $10 million for a guy who was literally on his way out the league. So there's
Courtney
context
Lee
with
took a
that
big
team.
And I
too.
think with
Courtney
Al,
Lee took another big
I
deal.
think
So
with Al Jefferson though, I think because we talked about this in the group, the only way for Al Jefferson to have come back the next year was for him to come off the bench.
Right.
And I don't think I think that might have been what got him out the door to get out of here as well. But even still, okay. If you say, you know what, I'm going to do what's best for me and my family, whatever is offered to me, and then you take off, I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're, I want to stay, boom, I'm gone. Like I don't respect, and I'm not gonna relate that to Kemba because I know what Kemba he's a humble guy, he's a quiet guy. I think he legitimately wanted to stay here,
Right?
And I don't know how offended he was by the Hornets offer.
I think he was pretty damn offended.
So honestly, was 5 years 160 fair?
Here's the thing. I'm glad you asked that. In normal circumstances, that was a fair deal. Mm-hmm. I think it was more than a fair deal. But guess what? This wasn't normal circumstances.
Got you.
You get what I'm saying? Like, hindsight is 20/20. We say that a lot. So you look at all the contracts. You look at Biz. I'm not Biz because we didn't give him the contract. Yeah. But when you look at MKG,
Marvin.
Cody, Marvin, and obviously Nick, and you look at it in hindsight, those guys are obviously overpaid. Mm-hmm. So now you get to Kemba, and it's like, well, let's be fair now. No. Why do we want to get frugal and be fair now? Overpay him like you overpaid everybody else. I mean, now, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
But Kemba might be going for that money, but is it ultimately fair to his career that we got to be tied up with these other contracts for 2 more years, and then we give him a hope, like maybe we'll bring somebody else.
And
in.
I'm kind of the same way. Like if we would have signed him for those 5 years, yeah, great, he deserved it. But for at least 2 more years, he's frustrated because now I still believe we could have competed just because of what we saw after the All-Star break.
Right.
But for whatever reason, Coach Borrego has a liking to Marvin Williams and Nick Batum, and even though he's gone now, and we're kind of deviating, but even though he's gone now, and even though we have Rozier, if I'm the coach, all those young guys are playing opening night.
Yeah.
But I have this pit in my stomach right now.
That Nick Batum is going to be out there starting.
Nick Batum and Cody Zeller and Marvin Williams will be starting.
I almost want to go to the first game and carry a bag of fruit just in case Nick Batum is starting.
Get your ass off the court.
I don't know what I'm going to do the first time Nick Batum dribbles the ball off his damn foot, the first time he turns the ball over, when the first time his man blows by him. I better not be sitting close that night. I don't know what I'm going to do, man.
I just want to make 2 points on that real quick. About whether or not Kemba's offer was fair. A report came out today that he asked for 5 years, 175.
Yeah, was going to get, yeah.
If that's true, and the Hornets let him go over $15 million,
it's indefensible.
You cannot defend that.
Okay,
that's
indefensible.
That's more than fair. 5 years, 175 is more than fair for Kemba to ask
especially when you pretty much knew you were going to let Jeremy Lamb and Frank Kaminsky go as well.
And here's my deal. I think here's what hurt the Hornets. I don't think the Hornets management wanted Kemba Walker to make the All-NBA team, and I think that's what hurt.
Good point.
Because if Kemba qualifies only for the 190, if he qualifies for 190, that 161 offer it doesn't look so bad. But the fact you can give him 221 and you offer him 161, I think that because it's such a discrepancy,
right?
I think that's why it looks so bad. Now, I did a few numbers, right? Mm-hmm. Kemba Walker wanted 175, 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. That would have been $35 million. Now, considering that Charlotte was able to offer 220, 175 or 161 is not, well, that's a pretty low number.
Right.
No matter which one he took, right? So when you look at the overall contract, it's a low number. But when you look at the by-year numbers, had he got there 5 years, 175, he would have been getting $35 million a year.
Right.
Now, we love Kemba Walker. He has all of our records, and he's been da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
In addition to that, right now, James Harden is getting $38 million a year on his current contract. Mm-hmm. PG is getting up with Paul George. PG is getting 33. Steph is getting 40 mil, and LeBron James is getting 37. Mm-hmm. So, as great as Kemba has been, are we putting him in that same echelon of players?
And I'm glad you brought up those names because here's one comparable contract that I was looking at. You know, when it comes to Kemba at the negotiating table, Kyle Lowry makes $31 a year. Sometimes this is how the market gets messed up. You get what I'm saying? Because anybody who knows basketball knows Kemba's contract should be more than Kyle Lowry's theoretically. You get what I'm saying?
And let me help you out with that. With me spitting out these numbers, I intentionally left out Lowry because it hurt my argument. I intentionally left him out.
I mean, you could throw Mike Conley in there too.
You can throw Mike Conley in there.
I think Conley's actually justifying his contract.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He
plays in Memphis and we don't see him because they don't win.
Utah now.
Right.
Utah.
Yeah, when he got traded, I think he's actually justified it.
But to reel this back in, make no mistake about it, the Hornets royally screwed this up. They royally screwed this up. Now, the one narrative that I've been seeing that's a little annoying, but there is some truth to it, is the fact that, maybe they should have traded him a couple of seasons ago. But at the same time,
listen, Jamal.
However, let me finish.
I told you so.
Let me finish. The I told you so crowd is in full effect and clowns, but we'll get to that later. But the thing about that is, whatever happened with them trading him, not trading him, whatever. Who knows whether their thinking was, well, we know we're going to re-sign him, so we're not going to push as hard to trade him if we don't get what we want. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
2 points to that. I hate when the fan base says we should have traded him, because when you say that we should have traded him, you make it sound like they at least didn't attempt to. Mm-hmm. And they did. Now, in addition to Kemba, the entire starting five was on the trade block.
Right.
And they couldn't trade Kemba away because teams was asking for too much in return. They wanted to dump off a bad contract,
right,
and teams weren't willing to accept it. So when you say that they should have traded him, you're showing your ignorance. Now, to my second point.
I'll give you started on that.
To my second point, with Kemba walking or going to Boston, that same crowd who has been saying we should have traded him. Well, what did we just execute today?
We just executed, it's proposed a sign and trade for Terry Rozier, who, if Kemba just signed with Boston, all right, we won't be able to afford Terry Rozier.
Right.
And even though we've done that sign and trade, how has that we should have traded Kemba away crowd responded?
Oh, $19 million a year. Oh, my gosh. He can't shoot. Career backup. He's 26, 25.
Look. That brings me to a point that I was going to try to fit into this discussion somehow. But
we're emotional today. Don't worry about fitting in.
No, but
say it with your chest.
Let that hate out your heart.
It's a perfect segue to what I was about to say. I posted something in the Hornets group and on Twitter, and what it said was, throughout this whole ordeal, it is exponentially disappointing because there are a huge segment of the Charlotte fan base who, me personally, I didn't see this much passion and discussion about the Hornets, and damn sure didn't see them in any games. All of a sudden, it's like, Hornets, what are you doing? It's fake passion.
Yeah.
It's trolling. It's almost like they couldn't wait for something to fail.
It's like,
you get what I'm saying?
It's like they expose themselves in a way. Like when you hear them discuss the Hornets, like Michael should have did this. But did you realize this happened and this happened?
But no,
because you don't follow the team,
the thing,
and you don't care for the team.
And
you see the team doing bad, and you want to pile on.
This has nothing to do with what you guys are talking about, but I'm going to steal 10 seconds and let you guys have it. No, Hornets fans, you cannot go buy a Kemba Walker Boston Celtics jersey and call yourself a Hornets fan.
You are a clown.
You
if
cannot do that. Okay,
you are a certified clown.
When Boston comes, if I see you, I'm calling you out point blank. If you want to wear your Kemba Walker jersey, Hornets jersey, cool. But if you wear a Boston Celtics jersey with Kemba Walker, no, I'm calling you out.
Clowns.
Get ready to catch a. Nah, I ain't gonna say catch a fade. I don't like going to jail, but no, you can't do it. All right, y'all good now.
So next year I'm proposing a trip to the Boston Garden.
That's not a good idea, man.
I don't like fighting, bro. I think I'm past that stage in my life,
man.
Let's go to Brooklyn.
No.
No. Oh, and I'm glad you said that because it connected another player to this entire conversation. Boston fans or Charlotte fans that know Boston fans, get this to Boston fans. for the last 2 years, these two fan bases have been at each other's throats about who's the better player.
Kemba and Kyrie.
Boy,
You guys
Kemba
are
is
about.
not Kyrie.
And here's the
Kemba's
deal.
not as good.
The Boston fan base is pissed off that they're getting Kemba right now. Like, generally speaking, because they're saying
Hold on now.
Time out. No,
All right, go ahead.
No, I'm letting you finish.
No, they're
Please come back
saying
to me when
we're
you finish.
getting a poor man's version of Kyrie, and he's just as much of a ball hole, and it's blowing my mind. But when they go head to head, Kemba busts his ass every game,
Every time. Right.
single game. And
I watched him drop 42 on Kyrie in the hive.
now I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm gonna let you have it. Now, Charlotte fans are about to catch heat. In the next couple years coming, because Kemba Walker will be the same player that he's been here in Charlotte, and I mean that in a good way, but because he's in Boston, he's about to get a lot more TV time, and when the world sees how good of a player he is, it's going to come back. Charlotte, how did y'all let him go? Jordan, how did y'all let him go? Y'all been having this for 8 years, so we're going to prove that he's better than Kyrie, but we're going to catch heat because we let our best player go.
What's really going to be annoying about that is there are Charlotte people who are going to do that.
Yep.
There are people in Charlotte who going to start watching Kemba on national TV. Man, Jordan suck, man. Why we let him? He's been the same guy for 8 years. We got this same Kemba that y'all about to get. However, to the main point that I wanted to get to, I don't understand why Kemba Walker went to Boston for less money.
So shout out to Kemba, the first African American player, like major player ever, to sign with a Boston franchise in their prime, which is big for the city's reputation.
Let me say this, man. So, okay, you take less money. Let me repeat that. Kemba took less money to go to a team who is better. They'll be in the playoffs. What's their ceiling? What's the Celtics ceiling in the next 1 to 2 years?
I can't call it, man.
We can't call it.
I got to see how
However,
Brown and Tatum play.
On paper right now, are the Celtics are they clear favorites for the East? Am I missing something?
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying?
But you know what though? Even with them not being clear favorites, they're better than the best thing Kemba's done as a Hornet.
That's fine. But the
team wise, not individual.
But the point I'm trying to make is, if he wanted to leave Charlotte so bad and go win, go big.
Yeah.
Try to win a championship. You get what I'm saying?
Go to the Lakers.
Now, I'm gonna need a shower after I say this, but if you really wanted to try to win big, go to the Lakers, like Rodney said. God, I need a shower after I said that. Oh Lord.
Let me speak on that real quick. I've always maintained that Kemba Walker does not ride coattails. He's been the guy.
That's a good point.
He's been the guy ever since high school. If he goes to LA, he's the third option at best. If he goes to Philly, third option. If he goes, to any of the championship contenders, he's not the man. He's the man in Boston now.
Yeah.
He's the guy. They're gonna be looking for him to be the captain like he was here, and I think that was part of his decision. Where can I go and win? Not necessarily a championship, but just be on a winning team,
right,
but also be the leader for that team. And Boston kind of makes sense in that regard.
Because the thing is, I just didn't understand that with Al Horford being out the door. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think his signing has been made official yet.
Yeah.
But all indications looks like he's going to Philly. You know what I mean? So, going to Boston is a little surprising.
Well, and here's the deal. That goes back to the Kyrie Irving effect. Because 2 years ago, this team surprisingly went to the Eastern Conference Finals without their two best players. They come back, and I'm glad that Boston hasn't traded Hayward yet, because with the injury that he's had, his second year, he's going to come back to where he was before he got. I'm predicting that now.
Yeah,
but
that's understated. Yeah.
With Kyrie, this showed the world, or it should have shown how much of a cancer that Kyrie really is, because your best player comes back and you struggle and you limp and you do worse than what you did without you.
Right.
And to add a couple more notes to that, Horford was on his way out. But once it was imminent that Kyrie was signing somewhere else, reports started coming out that Horford might go back to Boston now. That he might actually sign. And I also think that if whatever happened in the locker room this year didn't happen, I also think that Rozier re-signs with Boston. Because when you look at the way that they played 2 seasons ago, it was truly a team.
So let me ask you a question. So we know that Kyrie was a cancer.
Is
a cancer. I'm not going there right now. Is a cancer. So how do you see Rozier bouncing back with the Hornets? Now that it's his team per se. Do you think he bounced back to that 2018 form? Or more like of a backup type guy.
I'll tell you that he won't be a backup type.
Yeah, he won't be a backup type.
I'll tell you this, man. I'm judging from what I've seen when Kyrie went down. I'm judging from like how he feels, how he conveys his feelings during interviews. I really like Terry Rozier in the sense that I think he has a chip on his shoulder. Man.
Yeah,
I
agree.
really think Terry Rozier, and I really think he felt some kind of way when Boston pursued Kemba Walker. Because with Kyrie being out the door, and I'm just speculating, I don't know Terry Rozier or the Celtics and nothing like that, but I'm just speculating when Kyrie was walking out the door, Terry Rozier was finally like, all right, cool. Like,
my team ready to roll.
We went to the Eastern Conference Finals with me starting at point guard.
And I'll go ahead and say no to that because even before Rozier did a few interviews with First Take, and he had already said he was like, nah, I think I'm out the door.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was a lot of discontent in that locker room. Marcus Smart, he made comments during the season.
Yeah. I don't think they ever got along.
Yeah, so the dynamic of the team changed, and I think what's going to happen, it's going to end up being your Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Toronto Raptors, where everybody went their separate way,
right? And
then they're going to do a 30 for 30 and say, "Damn, we should have stayed together." And that's what's going that
could be true.
And if Horford doesn't go back, some years down the road, him and Rozier will be saying that we shouldn't have left.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So, what is the direction of the team now to you? Are we in rebuilding phase, or are we returning the wheels of mediocrity?
This goes back to a conversation that you guys talked about earlier. You guys said that if Kemba Walker leaves, the Hornets are in tank mode. Not an intentional tank,
right?
But they're in a tank.
Out of default.
They're in tank mode right now.
I'm gonna say this. It might be a little surprising being the mood I'm in today. I think getting Terry Rozier was bigger than we're making it to be because when Kemba Walker left, like I was like, wow, Devontae Graham is the starting point guard right now. This is without knowing what we're gonna do. Like looking at our cap situation, it was like, wow, we're really in dire straits at point guard. Here's my thing, man. Still got faith in those young guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Still got, and the thing is, if we finally decide to get our head of our ass, we could be a version of the Brooklyn Nets. Could be, because right now
you took that from me. I was gonna mention that.
Could be. Here's the thing, man. I know a lot of people have no reason to have any faith in this organization right now. I completely understand the way we just botched this. That is completely understandable. Hopefully, going forward, we can look at what we do have and wait it out with these bad contracts. Yep. Keep in mind, what was it? 3 of them come off pretty soon?
And then 2 the following year.
2 the following year. So, in that aspect, it gets better. It opens up cap space. We still have the young guys. Who knows, man?
MKG has 13 coming off next year. Marvin has 15 coming off, and then Biz has 17 coming off.
Right.
And the year after that, there's $42 million tied up with Cody Zeller and Nick Batum alone. That's coming out. So for the next 2 years, I think we'll be like those Baron Davis, Monte Ellis, Golden State Warrior teams, where we won't win many games, but it's gonna be a lot of highlights.
So let me ask you a question. So the Nets supposedly have a blueprint, but do we have a Sean Marks in place to implement that blueprint in our front office?
And we say that they have a blueprint, but I think that blueprint was unintentional. I think they accidentally came
fell into
it. Now, I will say that this past year they were supposed to be a tank year, and they had a better season than what everybody was expecting. But when you go look at their roster, their entire team, as far as the big contracts, fell out this season.
Yep.
They have about 9 players, I think, left on their roster, and of those 9 players, they're only in the whole $54 million.
Wow, man.
And that's how they were able to get KD and Irving and DeAndre Jordan.
See, and then like what else they did was they were willing to take on bad money for picks. Because they didn't have any picks.
Now, I'm gonna say something very unpopular because it goes completely against everything that we've been speaking on the last however many minutes, right? Because we're talking about blueprints, right? And we're talking about what happened to Brooklyn, and we've been defending Mike. Now, their principal owner, Mikhail...
The Russian.
The Russian guy.
Provorov. Yeah.
Last year, he sold 49% of the Nets to some other...
Russian?
No, it wasn't a Chinese guy. It's a Chinese guy. There's an e-commerce company called Alibaba. It's like...
I heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like China's version of Amazon. He's the co-founder, and he bought 49% of it. In 2021, he's supposed to buy the other 51%. Here's what I'm saying. The fortunes for the Nets didn't really start to turn until this minority owner came in.
Right.
Yeah.
If we're talking blueprints,
we could follow that.
Hey, man, I'm going to say something crazy, man. I had a barbershop talk today. MJ's pocket is not that deep to me. He doesn't have Mark Cuban. He doesn't have Mark Cuban money, Joe Lacob money. Hey, man, sell about 40% of that team. Get somebody with deep pockets. Pay that pay the goddamn luxury tax, man. But one time.
But here's the deal.
One time, man. Just one time, bro.
Now, keep in mind, the Warriors didn't start intentionally paying the luxury tax
until they start winning.
Until they got competitive. So I can't knock Jordan for not extending his pockets for a team that can't compete.
But my thing is he's making money year after year after year for the past couple of years after the new CBA deal.
Right.
$20-30 million a year. I've been told you want to make money, you got to spend some money.
Scary money don't make none.
You can't spend money you don't have. Now, and here's the deal. even with as much money as Mike has been making, he is still 31 out of 31 as far as richest owners in the NBA. He is still at the bottom. He barely cracks $1 billion. He barely cracks, and I think the Warriors owner, the majority owner, I think he's at like $3.4 billion. Wow. So Mike is barely breaking $1 billion,
right?
And Buddy got 3 times as much. So and that will probably segue into our next conversation about whether or not he's a bad owner. So I'll let you bring that in.
So a local Charlotte media personality,
here we go,
stated that, oh my gosh, Michael Jordan is the worst owner in Charlotte franchise sports history, completely ignoring the other owners. So sexual assault and racism is cool.
Completely cool.
Just as long as you go to the Super Bowl and maybe win. So what do you guys think of that?
Is
it overreaction?
Huh? Don't forget getting happy endings.
Happy endings and Jeans Friday. So Jamal, what? No, I'm sorry to you, Vince. What do you think about that conversation? Is Michael Jordan the worst owner in Charlotte?
I'm gonna ask you guys some questions. And I just need a yes or a no.
All right.
I just need a yes or no. Has Michael Jordan, as an owner, has he ever been investigated for having a toxic work environment?
No.
Has Michael Jordan ever sent an email criticizing a former player?
No.
Has Michael Jordan ever been recorded making any racist or sexist comments?
No.
Has he ever pushed an opposing player during an NBA game?
No.
He did slap one, but no.
That was his player, so he's allowed to do it. Has Michael Jordan
justifiable.
Has Michael Jordan ever had Isaiah Thomas, Hassan Whiteside, and Boogie Cousins on the exact same team at the same time?
No. Good. That's a good one.
Has Michael Jordan ever had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden on the same team at the same time?
No.
Did he draft and trade away Kobe?
No.
Since he became majority owner, does he have the worst NBA record in the league?
No, he does not.
Emphatic no.
Why are we talking about this?
What organization has the most minorities and women working in executive?
That would be the Hornets.
It can't be us because Michael don't care about black people.
Don't care about,
yeah, it can't be us.
No, man, look, them prisoners don't pay for themselves, man.
So one, I've said this time and time after again. Pointing the finger at Michael Jordan, it's an easy cop out. It's a hot topic, so I guess I get it. We talk about it, but it's just a cop out. It's a cop out.
You stole a lot of my thunder, but the simple answer is as long as James Dolan, Dan Gilbert, yes, I said Dan Gilbert, Robert Sarver, Glenn Taylor,
Vivek.
Sacramento Kings ownership, whoever he is, as long as they exist, Michael Jordan is not the worst owner in the NBA.
Shoot, the Washington Wizards don't even have a GM because
Poland,
no, it was Ted Leonosis, whatever.
Right.
He doesn't even want to pay for one.
So, needless to say, like, this goes back to the point I was making about people who could not wait to pile on, which is, I can't express enough how annoyed I've been by that, aside from, what's transpired with the team. I want to be very clear again, man. With what happened with the Kemba Walker situation, it makes it real easy
He's a cop-out,
for people to come out of the woodworks, people who don't support the team to begin with, writers and journalism and journalists who don't even care about the Hornets. It's so easy for them to come out the woodworks and get their clicks and their likes right now because Jordan and the Hornets, they gave him rope. You get what I'm saying? Now, to get into the meat of Jordan as an owner, so people are going to point to the draft picks, the salaries that people are making. You know what I mean? To speak to the salaries first, you got people saying, "Man, he cheap, man." But there's $81 million tied up in three or four players right now.
Oh my gosh.
And I've always said I believe that is a result of Michael not wanting to appear cheap.
Yeah.
Let me remind people he spent $7 million to change the damn name of the team. Not on anything essential, not on somebody coming to Charlotte, but to appease fans to get the name back. Mm-hmm. I need everybody to kind of really think about that. What other owner has done anything like that? You get what I'm saying?
Real quick. I'm going to ask everybody who's listening and everybody who's watching, I'm going to ask them a question, and then when I finish the question, I want you to count to 10, and then we can move on to the next topic, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're talking about Michael Jordan being the worst owner in the NBA, right? So for everybody who believes this, I want you to think about all the other bad teams. And I want you to now name as many NBA owners as you can in the NBA.
Without mentioning the ones I just mentioned.
And without using Google.
Right.
I want you to name every NBA owner possible. Do that. All right, we can move on to the next topic.
All right, we move on. So, gonna throw this out there. The article came out on this side about the Panthers owner, the one who everybody wants to buy the Hornets, is close to buying a MLS franchise, number 30. What do you guys think about that? Like, it seems like it's imminent and done. How do you guys feel?
I mean, he has infinite money, so it's like, I really
richest owner in the NFL?
He's the richest owner in the NFL. So okay, kudos, you bought a team. Great job, man. I hope people treat the MLS team better than they do the Hornets. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope they give them the same.
PSA: if it wasn't for the Hornets, there would be no pro sports in Charlotte and North Carolina.
Right.
Now, with you saying that you hope that they treat them better than the Hornets, I'm bringing it back. There has been one positive thing that has come out of this entire Kemba Walker situation with the Hornets. The national or the local news media is actually reporting on the Hornets now.
Oh, right.
They are actually
right. I have never seen so many reports on the Hornets, man. Never.
And for those of you that are listening and watching, this is part of the reason why we started under construction is because the local media just fails to cover the Hornets. But in the last 3 or 4 days, I've seen more Hornets coverage on the local media than I have been the last year or so.
Right, yeah. Same.
So if that's a positive, then we'll take it.
Okay.
No doubt.
So I didn't get an answer. So how do you feel about?
I mean, and now getting back to
it out there, man. I mean,
now getting back to your MLS. I mean, we've talked about it a few times. We did a poll on it, and the majority of the fans here, or the majority of people here, I think it's about 75-25 baseball to soccer.
Right.
Again, me not being emotionally attached has helped me out because I see the business side.
Right.
And this is just one step closer that I've been saying the entire time.
I'll give you a real answer when it comes to that. It's hard for me to answer because we don't know the pulse of soccer fans in this city. I don't anyway. You get what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Soccer may or may not even be a big deal.
Oh, it is huge.
Okay,
well,
youth soccer is
I
huge.
drove through downtown on Saturday, I think, and apparently there was a soccer game.
Okay,
because I saw so many Mexican flags. Holy crap! Yeah.
Now, getting to the point I was trying to make was
Friday.
like, I just hope this doesn't turn into some novelty situation where the MLS team comes and it's great at first, like, oh my God, Major League Soccer's here and they're selling out every game and everybody's enjoying it, and then 2 or 3 years later it's like, oh yeah, the soccer team. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to go in that direction if he's seriously thinking about bringing the team.
I don't think that will happen for the simple fact that soccer, they have such a hardcore following to begin with,
right?
And even with the sport you can kind of racially segregate it, and you can say that a lot of Hispanics follow soccer, but I know a lot of non-Hispanics who are more basketball and football fans, but will go to more soccer events than anything else. So even if like they would have to go 0 and whatever for like 5 years straight for the support to wane, but I think the local media will actually cover them more than they cover the Hornets, because for whatever reason people just don't follow basketball like that. I don't understand it, but people just don't follow basketball.
Unless they follow basketball, unless if they have 3 superstars on their team, they'll follow it then.
Yeah.
But teams who don't contend don't get followed.
Yeah.
It's just how the NBA is now. I mean, that's not just Charlotte, but that's not just Charlotte. That's everywhere. You get what I'm saying? So
y'all remember that Panther season before Gale?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we had a discussion off camera about the Pelicans and like how they had Anthony Davis and they still didn't show up to games and they still didn't really get nationally covered like that.
Yeah.
So it's just the culture of the NBA, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, I'm gonna steal your thunder because I know we need to move on. We can talk about this all day, but I know one of the questions that we wanted to talk about with everything that's transpired.
Right.
Are we still going to the games?
Yeah.
I've talked a lot of crap on social media. Let me just say that I talked a lot of crap on social media, man. I'll be there. I can't divorce this team, man.
Of course not. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like listen, they royally pissed me off, man, because of just my Kemba Walker fandom. But at the same token, man, I'll be there throwing eggs at Nick Batum, man.
I'm going through a separation with that. I go to games, but not as many. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
No, I mean I get that.
I mean, I'm not making it out to see Minnesota on a Tuesday night in January. I mean,
that's actually the games I want to go to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the games I don't want to go to is when LeBron and AD come to town. I don't want to go to those games.
I want to watch like young, exciting teams like we should be like the Hawks.
And for me, it'll continue to be the way that it's been since I moved here to Charlotte. If I can go, I'll go.
Y'all know I go a lot, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
you should have season tickets.
I don't know what's gonna happen that first rainy Monday night when I just get off work and I'm tired, and we're playing some team that's gonna kick. Some team that's gonna kick our ass.
Boston.
I'm not going to the Boston game.
We're going to the Boston game.
Nope. Nope.
I'd rather go to the Hurricanes game.
I'm not watching the Boston Celtics press conference. I'm not watching Kemba Walker interview in no damn Boston uniform. I don't want to see it.
I thought that would be the game we go to.
No. When the Celtics come on the Sports Center, I'm changing the channel. I don't want to see it. No.
Why didn't we realize that Kemba was so good? Because he played in Charlotte and you didn't care. So I'm going to dive into the second question. How do you guys feel about Malik Monk not being on the Summer League roster? Are you disappointed? Is it expected?
I'm a little disappointed, but at the same time, third-year players typically don't make it to the Summer League roster.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Shoot.
What is the definition of blackmail?
Blackmail.
Yeah, what's the definition of blackmail?
I don't know the textbook definition.
Give me your understanding. What is your understanding? What is
blackmail? When you have something on somebody and you force them to do something for you so you don't spill those secrets.
That's why Monk isn't going to Summer League.
Explain.
He has to have some dirt on his management because he needs to be there. I don't care if he's a third-year player. He needs to be there.
Oh, I'm with you.
He has to have some and y'all know I want to see Malik Monk succeed. I think his ceiling is that high to where we need to be watching, but he needs to be there.
Let me say something else about Malik Monk. That little dude, boy. Did y'all see the tweet? Y'all see the tweet with a devil horns?
Go.
Lord have mercy, Malik Monk. I swear to God, the first night you have a 7 for 27 night, I'm stealing off on you, dog.
You know what I thought about when he did that?
Let me say what I thought about it first, man. Y'all know what I was thinking? It's almost like Malik Monk was like, yep, Kemba's gone. Time for me to jack up as many shots as I want to now.
25 shots.
No, when Monk was having that streak of good games, and he did that interview, and basically his season went downhill from there. That's what I thought about when I saw those devil emojis.
Hey man, something just popped up in my brain. I think I'm kind of worried about Terry Rozier and Malik Monk being on the same team. That just popped up in my mind.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I might be a little worried about that.
In the essence of time, because we're getting close to time, let's wait until we see some press conference comments, and we'll come back and address that later.
That'll work.
We'll come back. But I know we got some fan questions to get into.
Well,
right?
that was the fan question. So
okay.
Me and Jamal going to do this since you don't know music. Jamal, give me your top 5 female R&B artists.
Top 5 female artists. Number 1, unequivocally, Aretha Franklin. Number 1. Outside of that, I'm not gonna rank them. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off on my next one, and for some reason, I think I'm gonna piss off a lot of black ladies with this. For some reason,
he about to say Adele.
Madonna. Madonna is one of the greatest female artists ever. I don't care if you don't like her or not.
All this shit down.
Why? For what? For what?
I agree with Jamal.
Thank you.
You look at her, first of all, her catalog, the amount of sales she has, her impact on not just music but pop culture.
Hello.
And the crazy thing is, she wasn't really all that talented, but here
she made it work.
She made it work. So
why y'all get mad at rappers who ain't talented to make it work?
I'm gonna tell you what. It ain't the same thing. It is not the same thing.
Actually, I'm not mad at rappers who make it work, but I can acknowledge that they aren't talented.
Right.
So why is she top 5?
But, okay, let me speak to that. Let me speak to this talent thing, okay? Madonna has recreated herself over and over again for 3 decades, y'all. That's a talent. I'm sorry. You call it what you want to, man. The fact that she's been versatile enough to sing any type of song. It's been rock, it's been R&B, it's been straight pop. It's been a lot of things she's been. She's had all these musical identities, and you got to give her credit for that. Don't want to spend too much time.
But here's my deal, though. If that happens today, we criticize them for appropriating whatever culture. So are we?
History is actually kind to artists that do that. You look at Prince. Okay, y'all remember when Prince was a rapper?
Yeah, I do. In the night, yes.
Prince, who has a very tepid relationship with hip hop. He had like 2 rap albums.
He did, yeah.
But the thing is,
but he's Prince and he can get away with it.
Exactly. So when we look, and at the time, those records were panned by critics. Everyone hated them. But let Sexy MF or Get Off play in the club right now. Yes, exactly.
So are y'all saying that you need to establish yourself as a legitimate artist before you start
important.
That's good.
That's important.
I agree there.
That's important because Madonna was in the game 2 decades before she did her R&B album.
Okay.
Which was Secrets, and which is a dope album, by the way.
Okay,
so. All right, moving on. All right, so
I know one you're gonna say.
you don't. Actually.
Yes, I do. I know one you're gonna say.
No, you don't.
You want to say the name for you?
Go ahead.
Sade.
She's in my top 5.
She's in my top.
She's in my top 5. She's actually my number 1.
See?
But no. Here's the thing, though. I can separate my personal favorites from who I believe are the best female artists. I can do that. Sade to me is maybe top 15, 10, but she's my number 1. I know that don't make a lot of sense to people, but I can separate the 2.
Gotcha.
Okay. Moving on. A lot of people don't really know this artist, but Carole King, who is an incredible songwriter, I will put her in the top 5. We got 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
This is harder than I thought, man. I ain't gonna lie, dude. This is harder than I thought.
Let me knock some off. I'm gonna say, for me, accolades and everything.
Okay.
Aretha Franklin.
Got to. She's the queen, man.
Yeah. Anybody leave her off the list?
She's retarded. Yeah. I'm gonna put Diana Ross on that list.
That's not a bad pick, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put Whitney Houston.
Yeah, she's on mine. Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Whitney's not on mine. I don't tell you why.
And I'm gonna say, you just messed my mind up. Like you just messed me. You said Whitney's not on yours.
She's not on mine.
You messed me up, man.
I'm gonna tell you.
Really?
The reason Whitney's not on my list, her voice is what it is. But that's it. Whitney ain't write nothing. Whitney ain't produce nothing. Whitney, listen.
You can't snort coke that long and stay on top of your game, and that's not being talent.
Look, listen. I'm hard on the word artist. I'm very hard when it comes to that word. I am. I'm sorry, man. I just am, because that word artist means a whole lot to me. When it comes to artists come up with their own concepts, their own songs. They write their stuff. They produce their stuff. Sorry, man. Whitney didn't do that, but
I'm giving you my top 5 real quick. So we got here. Aretha, Janet Jackson. I'm gonna put Whitney Houston on there only because her talent was so great, so good. Sade, and the controversial pick. I'm sorry, it was gonna be Anita Baker, but I have to say Beyonce.
I'm saying Beyonce too.
I'm sorry, Jamal.
And I'm gonna say Mary J. Blige.
Dog. I can't put Mary J on there, but because
I got my last two. Go ahead.
Her peak was really good, but then it was never as good. Like Lauryn Hill had a greater peak than Mary J. Blige, and you're not gonna find Lauryn Hill on my top maybe 10. But the thing is, Beyonce for almost 25 years has been top in the charts. She can sing. She's like you said, artist. Like you said, artist.
She ain't no artist, man.
Dog, she can sing.
I mean,
have you been to her?
Not by my definition.
Have you been to her?
But I'm saying
no. She is
okay. She's an artist in the same way
Madonna.
Michael Jackson was an artist.
No.
Hold on. Michael Jackson's greatest, and I love Michael Jackson.
Me too.
But Michael Jackson's greatest albums he didn't write
them.
or produce.
That is not true.
That is not
true.
Quincy Jones and Louis Johnson.
Let me tell you where you're wrong. No, Louis Johnson played bass.
Yes, he did play bass. Hold up, Billie Jean. Okay, one of the most iconic. Who played bass on that?
Who wrote the song?
Who's Johnson?
Hey, you want to know who wrote Billie Jean? Michael Jackson wrote the song.
Hold on, we wouldn't even be talking about Billie Jean if it weren't for that bass line or Quincy Jones' production or the fact that it went through.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna switch gears right now.
No,
we gotta finish.
I know. Let me
I'm gonna
give you my two, and I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong.
Give me your two. Give us your two.
A glaring omission by my list is Nina Simone. I don't know how that's not on anybody.
Hold on. I was waiting on that.
North Carolina native.
Real quick on Nina Simone, because I was gonna say Nina Simone, Ella Fitzgerald, but you start adding Billie Holidays, and they weren't really R&B singers by modern standards.
Right.
They were more jazz type singers.
Very true.
But yeah, good choice.
Yeah, and the last one was Billie Holiday. So yeah, but let me get back to why you're wrong on Michael Jackson. I'm gonna give you some homework. When we get through with this thing, I want you to go on Google, Tidal, whatever you got to do, and look at the credits on Thriller and Off the Wall.
Hold on, those.
Nas's daughter got credits.
Okay, so yeah, you realize that anybody can get a writing credit.
Yes, I do realize that. But you are wrong.
You really think they're gonna not let Michael Jackson get a writing credit? Quincy Jones,
y'all are so wrong.
Quincy Jones has come out.
Drake has writing credit.
Y'all are so off on this. It don't even make no sense.
I'm just saying. When it comes to you're saying when it comes to being an artist, my point was that if you look at what Beyonce has done, she's an actress. Okay, right? She's an actress.
Hurry up and finish.
Hold on, she's an actress. She can sing. She can dance. She has been in the charts and in the news for the last 25 years. Yeah. No one can. I mean, that kind of longevity.
Well, Mike kind of hasn't been here for 10 years to be in the news. So
I'm not,
but when he was here, he dominated. Michael Jackson is the reason why MTV plays black music to begin with.
I'm not disparaging Michael Jackson. I'm just saying you can't say Beyonce is not an artist and then be like someone you just said. Whitney Houston don't write her own songs. Michael Jackson's best song ever, he didn't write.
Oh, you're so wrong.
Hold on. No, you know I know music as well as you do.
No, you do. That's why it's so disappointing. That's why it's so disappointing.
You guys are more qualified to have this conversation. I have no problem admitting that. But
Let me
I
go
can't
with you,
sit
Vince,
here
please.
and let you put her in the same realm as
I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying you can't say Beyonce's not an artist because she doesn't. What doesn't Beyonce do?
Ooh,
She does everything.
She does everything,
hurry
right?
Have you ever, like, I know you have not, but I got dragged to a Beyonce show. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That is her being
she is
that
so
is her
dope.
being a
Like, I was
performer.
like,
She
yes. I was like,
That's
yo.
part of being an artist, though,
part of being
right?
an artist.
Okay, we got different definitions of artist. Cool.
Okay,
I'll give
cool.
you that.
Cool.
I defer.
Okay,
I got one more thing to say.
We're going to shout outs.
No,
shout outs.
we
Shout
are not.
outs
I have
episode.
one more thing to say. We are going to listen to one more thing I got to say. We are not ending on that note.
Next
Y'all-
episode, the conversation would be what is the definition of an artist? Stay tuned. We'll bring it to you.
Because I'm an artist and I'm
I'm gonna
sensitive
say this
about
one
my
last thing
shit.
to you about Michael not writing stuff because you were so wrong on this. So you know, like the later albums that wasn't as popular as Thriller and Off the
Blood
Wall.
on the dance floor, all that. Yeah.
And History and all that
Vince
stuff. Yeah, you know what? On History, it is producer and writer credits M. Jackson.
But them albums wasn't good.
I don't care, dog. He has the ability to do it on his own. You cannot go sit here and
You
tell
know,
me.
okay, but do you know why? Do you know why he decided to do that? Because you know who was giving Mike Jackson the most guff during his career for that was Prince. Because Prince could do it all, and he told Michael Jackson to his face, "You're just a song and dance man. You can't do
You're so
what
wrong.
I do."
You're so wrong.
Hold on, I'm not saying Prince is right, and I'm not saying that Michael Jackson is not an artist. I never said that.
Lord
I think Michael
Jesus
Jackson
Christ.
is the greatest. He's the greatest performer we've ever seen in history, bar none.
Let me say one more thing about
But
Thriller. Let me say one more thing about Thriller.
What was the original title of Thriller?
Let me say, I forgot.
It was
something else.
called Chiller Night. Michael Jackson came up with that title, Chiller Night, and
And
Quincy
was
Jones
like,
said,
nah,
"Hold on, bro.
nah, bruh.
We not doing that."
But we don't know. We don't know if it wouldn't have worked out or not, though. We still don't know if it would have worked out. Because there's a lot of stuff back in the day that was successful that if it came out today, we wouldn't rock with it.
Do you remember the song Centipede by Reby Jackson?
Oh,
you remember
God.
that song?
Unfortunately,
You remember the song? You remember how big that song was?
Did he write that?
You want to know who produced that song? Michael Jackson
That song
produced
wasn't-
Centipede.
it wasn't good.
bad.
Whatever. It was all over the charts. Somebody liked it.
It's bad because her name is
I don't
Jackson.
care.
That's why
I'm
I was
gonna end
on
it
the
on that note.
All right, so that's it.
All right, no more.
So we're going into our shout outs. Vince, do you want to start us out today?
I'll start out with the shout outs. Okay, so I've been here in Charlotte for the last 4 years. I'm pretty detached with the local hip hop scene. I have no problem admitting that. I'm older now. I have my core artists, but I've been hearing about Elevator J for the last couple months.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
And a couple weeks ago, I said, you know what? And a couple weeks ago, I said, you know what? Let me go listen to this guy's music because everybody knows the baby. So let me go listen to quote unquote side B of the Charlotte hip hop scene.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed off it took me so long to get put onto him.
Yeah.
Like I listened to his 3 studio albums, and like each and every one got better and better and better.
Yeah, no doubt.
And right now, I'm questioning myself because
I want to have him on this show eventually.
hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Elevator J, reach out, bro.
Yeah, straight up.
So my one thing I've been asking myself because his last studio album is like 2 years ago. So like, why does he not have a bigger platform? And when he does, I just can't wait because the music was dope. So shout out to Elevator J for putting out good music, representing Charlotte and all that good stuff. And definitely wish you more success.
My shout out goes to my brother, my very good friend DJ Justice. I went to an event last night called Justice for All. It was highlighting him as a DJ. There are way too many people in Charlotte who don't know who this dude is. I said something. Me and my boy Blues was walking up to the event last night. I said, man, Charlotte is gonna not appreciate Justice like they didn't appreciate Kemba Walker. That's how strong of a state. That's how strongly I feel about my brother Justice, man. The event itself, it highlights non-pop music. Is something for you to like kind of just experience something different, man. And when I tell you the crowd there, they literally stood up and applauded the DJ after the set was done. Wow. Like, and he's been doing this for years and years and years and years, and he just does not get enough credit, man. So again, my shout out goes to my brother DJ Justice, man.
Hold on, I'm gonna piggyback on the 2 music related shout outs, and this is breaking news. I'm gonna give a shout out to Nocturnal and Snug Harbor.
No doubt, man.
I just got word that they're shutting it down. No. But Snug Harbor claims that the attendance has gotten too good and they're always too close to breaking fire codes. So effective immediately, Nocturnal will no longer be a snug harbor.
More disappointing news today.
Yeah, that was pretty big. I've never heard of a venue getting too
big,
successful. That's odd. But shout out to Justin as well and
doubt.
David Ray, aka Shadow. Two of the biggest reasons that we have Nocturnal week after week. They've already confirmed that there are other interested venues in Charlotte because Nocturnal is just too popular. If you've never been to Nocturnal and you claim you like hip hop, then you gotta go. Or I'm gonna come find you and pull your car.
It is a great party for a Monday night.
It is,
man.
yeah.
It really is,
and it represents all 5 elements of hip hop, and in a real way, not in a cliche way. I mean, if you're a b-boy,
and there's something for everybody.
You got b-boy. If you an MC. If you like the kind of rap music Rodney listens to,
I listen to it. I like Common. I listen to everything, man.
Yeah. So, but so shout out to Nocturnal. Hopefully they get back, on their feet soon, and we can go back to rocking out these Monday nights.
All right.
No doubt.
Finally, I'm gonna give a shout out to Kemba Walker.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you for 8 years in Charlotte. We wish you the best of luck in Boston. I'm not gonna buy you a jersey, but
yeah, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that, but we just wish you the best of luck, man. MVP season. I want you to win the championship, but maybe you get traded to the Knicks or something to win the Knicks rather than Boston. But man, we love you. We're out, man.
All right, appreciate it, y'all.
See y'all in a little while.